In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates across the country. We will begin this hour with more NFL draft talk now. We go out to the Progressive guest line. Longtime friend of the show, and not a one-time Hall of Famer, a two-time Hall of Famer. The great Sal Paolantonio joins the program. Sal Pal, how are you, my buddy?
Mitch and Paulie, I missed you guys.
Same
I'm glad
here.
to be back on the show. I'm so happy to be back with you. And, after day one of the draft, got to do it. Got to happen.
Yeah,
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's begin the team that you've been close to now forever, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. What did you make of them trading up to 20 and then taking wide receiver Mekhi Lemon? Your thoughts on how he's going to work in the offense?
Well, how he's going to work, let's start with the positive. How is he going to work in the offense? I think he has a chance to be good in the offense. They have a lot of new wide receivers and a new offensive coordinator and new nomenclature and new blocking structures and scheme, a lot of new stuff. And how he can be a playmaker there, I think he has his chance to do that. But I don't like the idea that they gave up 2 fourth-round picks and they gave him up to a division rival to move up just a few spaces in the first round to take Mekhi Lemon. Now, I understand that Howie Roseman said afterwards that Mekhi Lemon was one of those players in the top 15 that were worth going up for and trading for. I don't like that. The other thing is now you got all these wide receivers and you drafted a wide receiver and your leverage in a trade with the New England Patriots to A.J. Brown is evaporating slowly but surely. I mean, if I'm Elliott Wolf, the GM of the Patriots, and I'm saying to Howie Roseman, well, listen, why should we give up anything for it? You got to get rid of A.J. Brown now. Your wide receiver room has no room left in it. You got to get rid of him. We're not going to give you a first-round pick. That's just not going to happen.
Sure.
So I did not necessarily like the position. The other thing is they have not had great success with West Coast wide receivers coming to Philadelphia. Nelson Aguilar, Jace J. Arcega-Whiteside, Freddie Mitchell. Go down the list.
Deshaun Jackson, he was one.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson, but he was an outlier, no question. That was a long time ago, by the way, in a galaxy far, far away. So, I mean, we're talking the last 10 years. I mean, Deshaun Jackson's my guy now. I love Deshaun Jackson. But listen, in this offense, what matters most is the scheme. And they want to get guys that they can put into the scheme. This guy's different. He's a shot maker, and he wants to call his own shot. And he also wants to think he can create his own shot. And he's also going to want the football. And so I think this is I'm going to put it this way. I think it's a scary pick. It could work out big and it could be a big bust. Either way. It could go either way.
Well said. Expand. It's happened before, but can you expand on your thoughts of division rivals trading and helping out your division rival? And then I don't necessarily like it. I don't like trading within the division necessarily. It has happened before, and it has happened between Stephen Jones and Howie Roseman.
but the idea that you would give up so much, because of the 8-minute limit in the first round, guys had to move fast. You got to make a decision and pull the trigger. So I just view it as an impulsive, expensive move. 2 4th-rounders to go up that much. I mean, you need a lot of help in a lot of different spots. And I'm surprised that they did that. So now they got this guy, and there's no question he can play for sure. Doesn't drop anything. Super fast. Great competitive streak. I love everything about his game. He's very reliable. He's very consistent. He can return kicks and punts. So he's a tremendous talent. They gave up a lot for him. Let's see if it works out.
How about Dallas?
Yeah. Yep.
You like it for Dallas, what they did?
Well, listen, I thought you guys probably watched the NFL Matchup Draft special with Greg Cosell and Darius Butler. And I said on that show, and Butler and Cosell both agreed with me, that Caleb Downs was the number 1 defensive player. He was the number 1 defensive player in this draft, and for very specific reasons. The last 2 Super Bowls, gentlemen, were won by the Eagles, and they were won by Seattle. And in both cases, the diabolical game plan of the defensive coordinators using multi-dimensional, versatile defensive backs. Cooper DeJean, Nick Imiwari, and Caleb Downs fits exactly what you need right now in the NFL if you want to rush 4, drop 7. You got a guy who can play in the slot. Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator in Columbus, how did he use Caleb Downs last year? Same exact number of snaps at the line of scrimmage, in the slot, and rushing the passer, and also dropping in coverage. He used them all over the football field. He's an absolute matchup nightmare. He will solve matchup problems and create matchup problems. Fast, tough. I thought he would. For the Giants to pass up on that guy surprised me in so many ways, because John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl with Ed Reed playing safety. It blew me away. I didn't understand it. He also won a Super Bowl with Ray Lewis playing middle linebacker, and he passed up on Sonny Styles.
Oh, it's funny you say that, because before you popped on, I was talking about if I could find Downs at 10-1 to win Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, that's going to be my first look for the Cowboys for sure. So you loved it for the Cowboys overall. Then it sounds like you did not like what the Giants did overall.
No, because they had Downs on their racket and they should have taken him. I mean, Arvell Reese is he's a monster. There's no question about it. He was close to being a number 2 pick in the draft for a reason. He can play. He's a top 10 talent, top 15 talent in this draft. But he can't do what Downs can do. Downs can cover. Downs can stop the run. Downs can play deep center field. Downs can play against tight ends and wide receivers. Downs can stop the run on the outside, chase down running backs. Has the speed to do that, strong hands. I can't believe that the Giants passed up on Caleb Downs.
Okay. Let's go across, basically the same stadium. The other New York team, so to speak, with the Jets. They traded back in to get a 3rd first-round pick and took Cooper, the receiver from Indiana. What'd you make of their 3 guys that they selected?
No, I really, I was there with the Jets all day yesterday and the day before. I liked the draft a lot that they had, quite a bit. Now, David Bailey over Arvell Reese was the choice, and it's for a very specific reason. When you see Bailey up close, and I have, he is a really impressive physical specimen. And I can understand why they fell in love with those physical traits in order to rush the passer off the edge. He basically eliminates a side of the field, and you have to basically get to the line of scrimmage and say, where's David Bailey? The quarterback's got to get to the line of scrimmage, look at the defense, and find Bailey. And if I were Bailey, I would have a nondescript number. All these defensive ends and edge rushers, they want 0, 5, 1, easy numbers to find. I would do something like, 23, whatever. So it's not easy. You see what I'm saying? Not identifiable. Easy when he gets to the line of scrimmage, so you can hide the guy a little bit. But once he uncovers, he'll get after the quarterback. And they took the number one offensive player that I had in this draft in Kenyon Sadiq. And we said this on the matchup show. Sadiq is an absolute matchup nightmare. And I know Frank Reich really, really well from Philly. And I know how he wants to run that offense and help Geno Smith be productive again, and how he wants to run that offense long-term. He's got long-term plans in New York. He wants to say to the NFL, I'm not ready to put down my weapon. And he wants to, he does. I know him really well. Yeah. He is a super tough, competitive dude. And he is going to design this offense around Sadiq. I tell you, he ran a 4.39 in the combine, Kenyon Sadiq. That was the fastest of any tight end in 20 years. That was faster than, and I'm looking at it right now. He's faster than Carnell Tate, faster than Makai Lemon, faster than Jordan Tyson, faster than Denzel Boston, faster than Concepcion, faster than Omar Cooper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top wide receivers in my Hourlat scouting services that I get every year. Sadiq is faster than all of them. Big, imposing dude, will control and patrol the middle of the field. And then to jump back up and get Omar Cooper, I thought that was brilliant. And they stayed away from drafting Ty Simpson. What a disaster that pick was for the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, I totally
Thank you
agree.
very much. Thank you, Sal Pal.
Give me 30 seconds more why the pick was so bad.
Well, you have Matthew Stafford. The three of us could figure this out if we were the GMs of that team. Matthew Stafford's 38.
Yeah.
They came close last year with a 37-year-old quarterback. Yeah. They've got Puka Nacua in off-season issues.
Yeah.
Get Stafford help.
Yes.
Either protect him or get him another. I mean, Makai Lemon at 13 would be perfect. All he has to do is go down the street and play football.
There you go. You're the best, Sal Pal. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the draft.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate you.
Sal Paolantonio.
Two cannolis.
Hall of Famer twice over. Up next, tonight's playoff schedule. Home teams have really taken care of business. I'll give you the numbers you need to know next.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We will get into the NHL. Jonathan Davis coming up in about 15 minutes. His best bets for tonight. We want to ask you, and you can always get in touch with the show multiple ways. The email here is ftm@vsin.com, and we're on X at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. Like, what did you make of the draft overall last night? Did you like the new format where it was 8 minutes between picks? Down from 10. Did you like how it was always before, like pick 7 was even announced, we knew the pick was already in from pick 8 and pick 9 maybe. And then still, if you were paying attention to social media, like the picks were leaking 2 or 3 picks in advance. So that thing was done, I think that was within 3 hours last night.
Was that really happening?
Because
on X? I
know that Humans and Murray, they were slated for a 4-hour show. I'm guessing the reason behind that was the thought, okay, they're going to be on for the entire draft's going to take place in about 4 hours. That thing was done. I think they had another hour to go here, and the draft was already over with. Like, we can let it breathe for a little bit. We got no analysis.
All right.
I mean, and you have 4 guys on each network ready to break this stuff down. And again, they've crammed for months getting ready for this event. And then you have to throw in the interview where it's 2 minutes and they didn't say nothing. And then all of a sudden we got 3 more. I don't know. I think they got to go back. I think
there's some good and bad. Louis Riddick, every pick can't be great.
Absolutely.
You can't love every pick.
No.
It's also nice when you have Saban there and you can talk about Ty Simpson and how the college guys and what Herb Street saw as well. But, Jim emailed, go Sabres, he's from Buffalo, absolutely. I can do without every single guy hugging Goodell for 2 minutes. The 2-minute hugs, the interviews, you're not going to get anything. Overcome with emotion or just cliches. And that also takes out more of the analysis. And I would say we have to go back, that the 8 minutes is too quick.
Right. So I'm wondering.
You got to extend it.
We're also getting feedback, though, the exact opposite way. And this is from Russ, who says the draft is never going to go back up. If anything, they're going to drop to like 7 minutes so they can work in another commercial or 3 and get it done within a 3-hour window whenever TV runs this.
They're already complaining. GMs are already unhappy.
That it was too fast for them, too? Yeah,
yes.
You can't. Everything was forced last night. And
I mean, there's a lot of trades. There's a lot going on, too. And this is a big pick. Jobs are on the line here.
Right.
So I don't think you should be rushed, even though your comeback could be you've been on the clock so long. But again, once there's a trade, everything the Giants didn't think Reese was going to be there. The Cleveland, Kansas City trade, and all of a sudden it's up for grabs.
Right. And I'll give you this, personally, when I find a podcast that I want to listen to and it happens to be 90 minutes or 2, I'm out. So I want a podcast to be 45 minutes less, let's bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
When I start a new TV show, if I look, every episode's an hour. I have a 2-year-old son. I'm like, there's absolutely no chance I can watch 10 episodes and it's 3 seasons deep. In each season, you get 10 and it's an hour. No way, I'm out. I can't do that. So, but for one event like this, give me 4.5 hours. I don't want it to go to 2.5 hours or 3 hours. That was way too fast last night overall. Tonight, the numbers that you need to know for the playoffs in the NBA. Under so far are 14-5. Home teams, Paulie, and my God, did they get the job done last night. They are 14-5 straight up and 13-6 against the spread so far. And you have 3 more games going on tonight.
Well, there's a lot going on here, and also the games this weekend, too. Denver was in the same situation last year. Split at home against the Clippers, went to L.A., got destroyed, blown out. Then came out like a house of fire. Was up 20, almost blew the lead, but won. And then won at 7. But Gordon's hurt. Murray's struggling. Minnesota has their number. Minnesota knows what they do. They're now 16-15 against them the last 4 years. And I don't know what's going on, if he's out of gas or what, but in respect and props to Gobert. But Joker's 5 of 24 from threes in a series?
Yeah.
And he's how bad he's struggling with his shot?
I've
never seen him play this poorly before.
I'm going to have a big-time regret. I already do by not betting the Wolves to win the series before it started.
And they have an injured Ant, and it hasn't mattered. And McDaniels was great. But I would also look for game leaders. I would think if he continues to shoot those, maybe what if they go in, though? And Joker, that would cash a big price. Most threes in the game. He's taken a ton of them.
Absolutely.
But and DiVincenzo continues to get that. I think he's cashed 2 of the 3 games at plus 450. And then how much trouble are the Knicks in? I mean, you go down 3-1, you're in big trouble. I mean, you go to the conference finals and fire your coach. What if you go out in the first round and how Brown is mismanaging his timeouts and the shenanigans in the last minute? You're up 3 with a minute. Can't get a stop, and then Brunson goes air ball turnover. And then your guy who gave up 5 picks for is benched in the second half. Oh, God. 3 of 20, again, all time, when the Knicks are down 2-1 in a series.
If I give you $1,000 right now and said you have to put every single penny on one team to win the Eastern Conference, who would it be?
I'd still have to go Boston.
So would I. I'm not going to panic over one loss. They do that. They get a little cute. It happens almost every single year with this team.
Shoot 53s in a game.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, and they just don't happen to be going in. I still think they're the best team, and I would give them the best chance to come out of the conference.
Yeah.
And by the way, as predicted, though, this goes back to last year when Tatum got hurt. Looking ahead to this year, it's like the Eastern Conference is going to be wide open. My God. If it's not Boston, you can almost make a case. Well, I can't make a case for Toronto, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like 5 or 6 teams where they could go on a deep run here. I'm on a couple of props in that game tonight with the Celtics and the 76ers. The Opta AI stats, love them. They've been great the last 2 nights. And they love Grimes to go over basically every which way but loose tonight. And they love Andre Drummond to go over as well. So I played Grimes over 7.5 at plus 110. And I played over 11.5 PRA minus 105. And again, the Opta AI stats, they have him going, the biggest edges on the board tonight at vsin.com are on his props to go over for PRA, PR, PA, and points. I know that's very fast for the people driving around right now. So I apologize. But Drummond, they also are very high on him to go over his rebounds, over his points and rebounds, and over his points, rebounds, and assists as well.
Two guys I'm focused on, not with props, but they have to play well, not only tonight, but moving forward. Derek White has got to find his shot. He's so dangerous, and he takes a ton of threes, but he's 4 of 17 in the series. And De'Aaron Fox for the Spurs. Whether it's Wemby tonight or not, this guy signed a max contract, and he was so good in Sacramento. Wanted out, got his way, winds up with Wemby. Great situation with the Spurs. And he's running the show. And you cannot blow a 14-point lead at home with 7 minutes left. Cannot happen. So how they respond, and he has got to be key moving forward if they're going to make a deep postseason run. He's got to get this offense cooking. Because, again, there's so much talent on this team, and there's first-round picks all over the place. So Portland's a great story, and it was a great win and come from behind win, even though Avia was in foul trouble and didn't give them much. I don't think the Scoot thing continues. But there's a big chance here for the Spurs to say, okay, we're the team to beat. We have to do a better job, and we're not going to give you a chance here and beat them to submission tonight. Send a message.
Yeah, the last time we talked about this game on this show, within the last 45 minutes, it was 3 here at Circa. Now the Spurs are 3.5. If and when this happens with Wemby getting cleared tonight, then that number is only going to go up. My guess is the floor has got to be 5. Spurs -5. And I'm being like as careful as possible here.
Okay.
It might be higher than that. So there's a difference, though, from him being at shoot-around today and him getting cleared in the concussion protocol to be able to play in the game. So that's why he is still questionable as we speak. And I'm buying low on look, I fully admit I'm a big fan of this guy. He played 10 minutes in the last game for the Rockets. But I'm going back with Reed Shepherd tonight. I bet him threes over 2.5 at almost plus 160. He was a little bit shy of that. But when Udoka came out yesterday or the day before, and he said, he's going to get more minutes now, he realized that they can't space the floor and they have like literally 0 shooters on the team other than this guy. And when Durant's getting double teamed and he's getting blitzed and he's turning the ball over and nobody else is spacing or shooting well, maybe that's a mistake. So he took 14 threes in game 1.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to get that version now that they're back at home. And if he gives me, he's a 40% three-point shooter. So if he gives me, my God, if he shoots 10 tonight, I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Luke Kennard, plus money to make 3.
I thought about that.
Number 1 in the league.
Here's why I didn't. They're reeling you in too much with this. He's not taking a ton of threes. And now I feel like I'm chasing stats with them to go on the road for the first time.
Well,
that's why I didn't bet it.
And they're going to leave Marcus Smart open, too.
Yeah,
he was
true.
Great in game 2. And he's $1.50 to hit 2 of them. We're taking over the world's largest sports book, and you're invited. Join us June 13th from 1 to 5. NBA Finals, ton of World Cup action, MLB, and more. $250 gets you an open bar and all-you-can-eat food and an afternoon with us. Don't miss out. Sign up, vsin.com/beyondthebooth. vsin.com/beyondthebooth. June 13th, Saturday, 1 to 5. All you can eat, open bar. Let's do it.
It's a really strong day for sports.
It is.
Really like a sleeper day for sports on that day to come out and hang out for a long time and take advantage of that great deal that they have. Jonathan Davis on the program next. VSiN's NHL betting analyst. He has, like usual, he's got a Gatling gun full of bets, and he's going to unload the clip for the card that we have tonight in the NHL next year on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in today. We're live in Vegas, Circa Resort Casino. In 15 minutes, we're going to get to your reaction from the draft last night. It is all over the map. People love it. People don't love it. The new format last night with the 8-minute picks. Jonathan Davis joins the program now. We'll get some hockey bets out of him. But also, he was at the Kings game last night in L.A., taking on the Avalanche, and the president of the Rams was on board. JD, thanks for the time as always. When did you guys know that they were going to go Simpson 13th overall?
Guys, I can't remember if it had already happened, but I think the question was that was asked by a colleague of mine was, why are you here? And he just said, well, we knew who we were taking. We were taking Simpson. We felt that, there wasn't going to be that quarterback available to us next year in the draft. And, we'll let him learn the business, next year. And that was it. I was like, okay. Just seemed kind of odd to me that they were that fixed on a guy. And you guys addressed it earlier. Could have taken him later or trade down for him.
Yeah. Yes. Did anybody ask him a follow-up of, did you consider maybe trying to get out of 13? Because he was going to be there pretty much whenever last night.
It was, it was a very quick conversation. And, we were more focused, on the game itself. But it was just more the shock of seeing him there. And it wasn't like he was doing a press conference. It was a casual conversation that took place in the press box last night. And that's one of the best parts about covering the game. Mm-hmm. It's not the game. It's who you run into and things you learn.
Absolutely. An observation so far, especially coming from a guy who's betting unders, there are way too many power plays here. Why are the officials so involved? This is not playoff hockey that I'm used to.
Yeah, I think what's happening is officials want to set the tone early. That would be my first guess. Let's not let things get away from us and have what happened, in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh in game number 3. So that would be my only rationale for why they're doing it the way they are. It's been even last night, there were a couple of calls at the game that I was at that you kind of wonder, what are we doing here?
Yes, absolutely. Are you surprised Tampa's favored in Montreal?
No, because I think you take a look at what where the price was when the games were in Tampa, and I don't think you're going to make that much of an adjustment for the Lightning. I mean, maybe the line was set too high to begin with, but it's Tampa, and I think that I think the books are trying to try to create that money going both ways. So not totally surprised, but definitely would be grabbing Montreal at plus money.
Okay. Overall, you have a bunch of bets, and it's available right now at vsin.com. You do this pretty much every day, Monday through Friday, throughout the entire season, including the playoffs. Run down some of the bets that you have made and that you would recommend for this game tonight.
Well, I think one of my favorites is Darren Radish of the Lightning to go over his shot total. He's got 10 in the series. 3.5 is his number. So he's had at least 4 in 4 consecutive games. And ever since Victor Hedman, the Lightning's number 1 defenseman, has been out of the lineup, he's been clearing that number on a fairly regular basis. So that would be one. Juraj Slafkovsky of the Montreal Canadiens had a hat trick in game 1. He's got 7 goals against Tampa this year. That's more than any other Canadian. He's got 6 against Andrei Vasilevsky of those 7. So I like him tonight for a goal because the Canadians are going to get they got last change tonight. That's a big help for them because Tampa's done a really good job overall of shutting down, Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. The two of them have combined for just 5 shots on goal in the first 2 games. So I'm targeting right now those two. I've already gotten Nikita Kucherov for a point in every game, so I can lay off on that one. But I would go back to Montreal on the money line, and I would even sprinkle some pizza money on this game going to overtime. I mean, both the first 2 games went to OT. 3 of their last 4 have gone to overtime overall.
There's going to be a raucous environment in Utah. Does Vegas bounce back? And could this environment, Utah, be too fired up when they come out early and they don't have it?
It could. I mean, I talked to one NHL player earlier today, and he was just saying like his first game, in the building, like he could barely feel himself breathe. And so you do wonder if they get too pumped up, but by the same token, these kids are nothing seems to faze them. So the way I've approached this game, Logan Cooley loves to play against the Golden Knights. He's got 6 goals against them this year alone. He has scored in both games. He scored the first Utah playoff goal in franchise history. He scored the game winner in game 2. He's got goals in 6 of 8 career games against the Vegas Golden Knights. So I'm targeting him for a goal. I would even maybe see if you could get a point parlay prop of Logan Cooley and Dylan Guenther. I think you can get that at plus money or close to it. I think that's a good bet. And then Mark Stone, the captain of the Golden Knights, he scored in both games. He loves playing against Utah goalie Karel Vejmelka. He gets goals in 5 of 7 against Vejmelka, and he's got goals in 6 of his last 8 games. He's again taken off under John Tortorella.
JD, what do you think of Paulie? He's been playing a couple of these series like alt totals to the under, one of which would be this one, right? Vegas and Utah. The other one, Carolina and Ottawa, or nothing has basically happened in that series.
No, Buffalo, too.
Buffalo, okay.
Yeah.
Does it feel to you like this game's going to be like 5-6 goals max in these games, even if it goes 7 games?
I think that, it's more.
I got to try to reconnect here with Jonathan Davis, VSiN's NHL betting expert here. So, yeah, clarify the exact series now.
Buffalo, Boston. Carolina, Ottawa could play 10 periods. They're not going to go over.
The way it seems.
Another 2-1 game, right?
And I thought this one was another one, too.
Under 6.5.
Under 6 and minus 150.
Yes, right. In the Colorado game. Been doing that 2-1, and then there were 3 goals late.
Right.
But it came 4-2. But it could have been, there's an empty net there, but you could have gone under 6.5 minus 160. But the Buffalo series, the Carolina series, I just don't see goals and under 6.5. No way.
Well, let me ask, and Jonathan Davis rejoins us now, VSiN's NHL betting expert, and you can read his plays at vsin.com. I'm looking at the story right now. And I think rightfully so here. You're expecting the exact opposite here in this Edmonton and Anaheim series. You're betting on a lot of positive outcomes in this game tonight, yeah?
Well, look, both teams to score 3 to me is the way to target the over. I'm not interested in laying the minus 140, minus 150 on over 6.5. I don't, why do it with 7? We're going to get to 3, I believe, for both teams. So I like that at plus money. And then look, I would even, if you like Edmonton to win, then just play Edmonton's team total over 3.5. That's another way to go. Prop-wise, the Oilers' second line of Podkolzin, Kapanen, and Draisaitl has tormented Anaheim through the first 2 games. So I would look at Podkolzin and Kapanen, play their assistant goal props. You get them at plus money. You may split on I think you'll get at least 2 of the 4 bets, and you come away at plus money. Cutter Gauthier from Anaheim, an anytime goal. I mean, this is the guy, he's the 4th Duck in franchise history to score 40 the last game. He's got goals in 11 of his last 14 at home. I love Gauthier for a goal tonight. And the other one that I was targeting for, Axel Lacombe of the Anaheim Ducks, an assist machine. You can still get him at plus money, guys. He's got an assist in 7 of his last 9 against Edmonton. He's got an assist in both games in this series. And if you want, sprinkle on his goal prop at plus 700.
This might be a fluke, but we have 3 series that are 3-0. Would you tinker with the format if you were the league, or is this a fluke?
Well, Gary Bettman will never tinker with the format. This is his baby, and he won't. I mean, I would. 3-0. I mean, look, the only series that would have stayed the same if you went 1 versus 8 was Colorado, LA. But none of the 4 series in the East would have the same matchups in a 1 through 8. And so, yeah, I'd like to see 1 through 8, but the league's argument has continued to be that, our history has shown us that we've had longer series since we switched to this format.
What do you expect out of those teams tomorrow then? Does Carolina finish it off, and do the Flyers finish it?
Yeah, well, I think Ottawa, they're in a world of hurt. They, Jake Sanderson, their number 1 defenseman, went down in game number, in game 3. Some will say that it was because of a hit from Taylor Hall. But I think it was actually he tried to block a shot with his open hand and with his glove on. But that's when he left the ice during after a 5-on-3. So I think that they're in a world of hurt. Mm-hmm. Game 3 was their opportunity. They've only got 3 goals in the series, guys.
Yes.
In the other series, in the NFL, we always like to take Ed McCaffrey for an anytime touchdown. I mean, it's money. Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars is money when it comes to goals and playing Minnesota. 17 goals, guys, in 22 games against the Minnesota Wild. He scored in both games. So I like the over in that series. And then the Flyers, yeah, I think it's over. I mean, it's just the Penguins play roller hockey. The Flyers play playoff hockey. And playoff hockey's winning out.
Well said.
I like that. I just tweeted his story out for tonight's games with his best bets at Mitch Moss Radio. It's up at vsin.com. JD, thanks for the time. You're awesome. And best of luck with the bets tonight, okay?
Guys, I'll be in town tomorrow for the weekend. Looking forward. Maybe we'll stumble into each other.
You got it.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
I do like the Dallas game over. All 3 games have gone over, and it's only a 5.5.
Well, how about those numbers on Robertson?
Well, I know. That's great. And he's been on it every day. But a lot of viewers have sent emails in about, you know what to do with this Dallas series.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a ton of goals.
Up next, a lot of reaction coming in on the league tinkering with the NFL draft last night. I'm surprised by how many people are saying this. Pick it around next on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I always find the NFL draft to be such a big rush. Like, I know people were calling this draft like boring in terms of how good they think it is. Like, people were not like, they didn't think it was star-studded enough. And I'm like, oh, but it's a draft. You can bet on this, man. And once you have action on it, it turns into a roller coaster and it can be a lot of fun. So with betting on this event, it's always going to be like phenomenal television, in my opinion, overall, or like the drama is going to play out like that anyway. And then like the whole Bailey and Reese stuff at number 2 last night. And I tweeted this out earlier, a screen grab of Kalshi got to almost 1,700 at one point on Reese to go number 2 overall. And a couple of minutes later, it's off the board and it turns into 92-1 on him to go, because that means that Bailey was the guy. And that got, so I'm thinking, okay, that's a good start for me. I had Bailey to go 2nd overall. So it's going to be a good night. It did not turn out to be a great night. I lost several bets on the draft last night. And then just like Love going 3rd overall, and then Tate to go 4th. Like I wasn't like falling off my couch. Tate, I fell off my couch.
Yep. Shocker. Absolutely. And I thought this was excellent last night while it was live. Humans and Murray. Humans' reaction after Tennessee took Tate at 4, 27-1.
I think it's the first big surprise of the draft. It doesn't really make sense when you have a defensive head coach in Robert Saleh who's building this thing, and you got all these edge rushers and defensive impact players out there, and you take Carnell Tate, wide receiver, in a draft that's deep with wide receiver talent. I don't like the pick at all, and this is why the Titans are the Titans, and they don't win. You know, you could say the same thing about the Jets, even though I like the Jets pick this time at number 2. This is not a good move by the Titans, even though I like the player. You could get much better value, fill much bigger needs if you go elsewhere with this number 4 pick. So to me, this is the first big surprise of the draft, and a pick that's nonsensical by the Tennessee Titans.
Yes. Now, and you brought in Robinson, too, in the offseason, and that's,
But that's, again, is that an example of how this is going to be moving forward? Now, there was smoke on Love this week. That turned out to be right.
Yes. There
wasn't a single mock drafter or an insider who had Tate going 4th overall. Not a single one who I follow or who I read or listen to.
This is great. And the guys put this together along with Justin Emery. Look at, here's the odds of all the guys to where they go and what wound up happening. And there's just huge prices out here. And again, one bad luck, one surprise, one trade, and you're up against it. You know, and look at the bad luck we ran into with the Giants. There's no way they thought Reese would fall to them. But Reese was number 1 on their big board, so they take him. If it was reversed and it was Bailey, no, they weren't taking him. They were still going Tyson and Francis. But Reese falls them at 5. Okay, we'll sit there. We'll grab Francis at 10. We're set. We're good to go. And Cleveland was going to go Fano at 6, but they trade back, so he goes 9th. And then Kansas City comes up, and he was 30-1. Delane was 30-1 to go there, and what they did. Although I don't understand moving up when he was going to be there anyways. But
we kicked this around earlier too. Books need to be more aggressive on this because of how that broke last night. That exacta to go in the order of 1 through 5 at DraftKings, they didn't even offer it. But a 5 leg parlay would have been 3,000-1. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And so when I say I lost several bets, overall I'm down about 1.5 units so far in the draft because a lot of these books won't take decent sized bets at all. Maybe that's a good thing. However, I do have bets remaining tonight, one of which would be Jacksonville taking a running back at 18-1 overall. So then it would end up being a winning draft overall. And I got some other ones as well. But I also thought it was way too fast last night. And people disagree with this.
No.
FTM at VSiN.com. I know.
It's a basketball game.
Now, this also maybe depends on where you live, right? This is from back after this on X. as an East Coast viewer who gets up very early for work, I greatly appreciate the pace of the draft.
Okay.
I get his point, but also...
I also don't think it should start at 8 Eastern.
Where do you want it to start?
I would go with 7 Eastern.
Okay. But it also tells you that, once again, the East Coast sucks for sports viewing.
Right. This is from Ozzy. If they're going to go 8 minutes between picks, you've got to cut the interviews and highlights in half. Got to. Too much going on. I'd like some insight and analysis, too. And also, what'd you think of the pick, other than Riddick, who loves every single pick?
They can't have that. Evidently, Saban did not. He was caught on a hot mic saying that, I think it was the downs to the cow he didn't like. Or doesn't like the player, something like that.
He said, I don't like the player.
Yeah, well, it was something like that.
Giants didn't like the player. I know that.
Yeah. So, but here's the deal. They're never going to cut out the interview because the NFL is going to say this is their moment.
Well, people are making good points, though, like Jim from Buffalo. If it's 2.5 minutes for every hug that Goodell gets and receives, then between an interview where it's God, country, core, cliches, and then it's, get another pick. Or, we don't have enough time now.
Yep.
I mean, if you're going to fire off, even if it's 3 questions and a guy's emotional, he's going to go off and thank everyone and what his journey's been like. The next team's ready to go up to the podium. They may already be there. Like I said last night, we're talking about Kansas City at 6. I'm watching Humans and Murray, Tyson, the Saints at 8.
Oh, I mean,
they have that. I go, what's going on?
And I was trying to stay off social media, but also like looking at odds and other things. So on X, there were a couple of reporters last night who were breaking the news 2-3 picks ahead of every single pick. I'm like, I just got to put my phone down now. I can't even be on it. I don't want any alerts. I don't want any notifications. I don't want anybody tagging me on that.
Well, the Jay Glazer thing was 13 minutes early.
Yeah.
About Simpson to the Rams.
This is from Gary. He lives out here. Draft went a bit faster than I think even the league expected. Cut out the player interviews and go back to 10 minutes. I would agree.
Yeah.
My guys, this is Scotty. He had to stop driving to reply. Yes, he loved the 8 minutes overall. Irv, email, ftm@vsin.com. All caps, yes, the faster the better. These guys have been prepping for this draft for months. There's no reason to take 10 or 15 minutes for each pick.
I know, but if there's trades, though, and there were a lot of trades. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand the first point. But then again, you can't go through, there's a lot of scenarios. It's like, well, okay, what if the impossible happens, the unexpected? Reese falls to us. Tennessee does that. Simpson goes 13.
Sure. You need that instant reaction from the people who, again, if it's...
Well, it's also, I got a game plan, too. There's some things you go in and you never think what could happen.
Yeah, if it's like, if it's Rich Eisen and Daniel Jeremiah and that's it, okay, that's probably fine. But you got 4 guys up there on NFL Network. You got 4 or 5 guys up there on ESPN. It's going to be 13 seconds out of their mouths and then, on to the next guy. Give us what you got, move along. Well, sometimes it needs more than that.
If my plan gets blown up, I got to ad lib and go another direction too, and that's going to take time. Like Saving Private Ryan. I got Barry Pepper up there shooting in the sniper seat, but then they come in with the tank, blow me up. I'm SOL.
Well, we get back-to-back war references in like 2 minutes. I like it.
Thanks, buddy.
This is from Tony. Email, fellas.
Tony.
8 minutes versus 10 minutes. Likes it. VSiN draft coverage. Likes it. The Jets picks. He liked it. Rams at number 13. Did not like it. Just his 2 cents.
Well, for the one guy who wants it shorter, I don't think that can happen. The GMs are already complaining it's too fast.
And don't you think
want to go to 7? I mean, it's think about how fast that is. By the time the pick's in, they announce it, you get the hug, let's go to Laura Rutledge, couple questions. That's 4 minutes.
I know.
At least.
Right. Do we live in a society where it actually, 4.5 is unacceptable for anything now? Is that our attention span so short that it can't possibly be that long? It's got to be 3 hours or below. It's got to be an NBA game, basically.
Well, I don't think anyone complains about NFL length of game.
I don't think so either.
But it depends what you are. Baseball's at its best when played fast. It's not, you can't have guys stepping out on a 3-0 count, adjusting their cups, spitting, batting gloves, no mark. Well, but let's just get up and go. As long as it's fast paced.
I saw a great tweet on that earlier today. If you go back 5 years and more, we used to have 65% of baseball games that would take 3 hours or longer.
Mm-hmm.
The last 4 years since they put in the stop clock, it's down. It's 20%.
No, he's done a great job though. I mean, think of what it was like. His first year, it was 6 hours.
Okay, that's a little long.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't sit around and wait 5 hours and then you take some offensive lineman you never heard of. It's just a big letdown. But I think a bit quick, but that's why you want to keep it, fine. But I'm with Ozzie. You got to cut down the interviews and cut down the highlights.
Also, like the numbers were moving so quickly on prediction markets, and we can't even bet those here in Nevada. But it's like trying to keep up or trying to get a gauge, or if you wanted to get a bet in. If you were trying to get, I'll just throw out, if you were trying to get like 3-1 on a guy like last night, as the team was on the clock, that 3-1 may have turned into like plus 120 in this. I mean, it was just rapid fire. I should have taken video with my phone, how fast it was going. The Reese Bailey stuff at number 2 was off the charts.
Yeah. That was. Who are these people? Groups. What was it? Who was their source? It wouldn't stop. And it was wrong.
Yeah.
And the mock had Bailey, and they were right.
Yep. I'll expand on that a little bit. Again, the straddle looked a little funny. I tweeted that earlier today, but I'll give you the explanation on what I was told next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.